Mansfield, Foxborough, Norton, and Easton are currently pursuing the formation of a regional dispatch center. The following is a presentation on this effort. The towns involved in this effort are part of a growing area of the Northeast for residential and commercial development alike. Within a 60-mile radius of these four communities, you can account for over 52% of the population of New England, and the same reasons that make such similar communities so attractive are the reasons why we are facing similar challenges for public safety. Large entertainment venues, public and private educational institutions, rapidly growing residential and commercial development, easy access to the busiest rail line in the Northeast, and major highways running through each town. To fully understand where we are going, we need to see where we started and what we do now. Dispatch was originally handled by each individual department, with one on-duty firefighter or police officer assigned to this duty on a rotating basis. This position was secondary to their main duties. The number of emergency runs and call traffic was much less. The training demands and certifications were limited or simply non-existent. The technology and equipment was much less sophisticated. Dispatch was run with a time clock, a typewriter, and a radio. Cell phones were non-existent. This all changed, and as we grew, every town recognized the need for the job of dispatching to evolve into a separate and professional component of public safety. Collectively, towns realized that this system led to large gaps between experience and proficiency for members working on the desk. The transfer of emergency calls between police and fire was inefficient and dangerous. Reliance on mutual aid, which had not been prevalent except for large-scale emergencies, was rapidly increasing. Finally, one member of each side of public safety was taking off the road on each shift to dispatch. This was simply not cost-effective. In the final analysis, communities recognized the need for change, which led us to how we operate today. Currently, each town employs a combined dispatch center for both police and fire. A small group of specifically trained professionals per town is responsible for answering and dispatching 911 calls, as well as a host of other duties, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. The technology has changed dramatically, with multiple computers and monitors part of every task from mapping to log entry to call taking. Training too has increased. Certifications must be maintained, and attention to learning the specifics of dispatch is every day. Emergency medical dispatch, known as EMD, must be employed on every medical call and must be reviewed constantly. Mutual aid has become a routine part of daily emergency calls. In short, dispatch has developed into a separate, professional component of public safety, working in conjunction with, but distinct from, police and fire. So why change? The current system is not without issues. Aging and failing infrastructure must be addressed. The position has strayed from its primary function and has become a catch-all for many jobs that distract from the mission. The importance of EMD has increased and not only must be done on all medical calls, but must be reviewed by a supervisor. A reliance on small pools of employees per town forces dispatchers to work significant overtime, which leads to reduction in personal efficiency, high turnover, and unsustainable costs. In its current format, annual funding from State 911, which is a key in maintaining systems and training, will be cut as the state looks to reduce the 241 community dispatch centers into more efficient, workable models. The improvement to systems and infrastructures relying on funding from local competitive capital improvements methods where dollars are already stretched thin. The increase in the use of mutual aid means that collectively we must move towards using the same systems and speak the same language. So what have we done to begin to move forward? In 2014, police and fire departments from Easton, Mansfield, Norton, and Foxborough joined together to apply for State 911 grant to study the feasibility of developing a regional emergency communications center, also known as a REC. The 2-year study considered the existing conditions, including current center operations, staffing, call volume, technical systems, facilities, training, quality assurance, and emergency medical dispatch. The study also confirmed that under the Acts of 2014, Chapter 500, communities had the ability to create 911 emergency communications districts. Police, fire, and town managers from each town formed committees to further explore the specifics of a regional effort and report back to the board on the value. Through a comprehensive study, the committee determined that the most effective site to be the current police building in Mansfield, which will be available due to the construction of a new public safety complex in that community and already contains valuable infrastructure to transition the structure into a new regional center. This is an opportune time to be part of the decision-making for the rec. In an attempt to consolidate the number of answering points in Massachusetts, the state is reducing funding to those not involved in regional efforts. Moving forward with this effort will allow us to maintain and even increase funding while determining the fate of our communities. Uniquely, each discipline in all 4 towns believe in the creation of the rec and collectively feel that it's better to drive the bus than get run over by it. By forming this new rec, the communities will be able to access specific grant money that will approximately double our annual grants awards. These same funds will be reduced and eventually eliminated for standalone PSAPs. The state will further fund all equipment and infrastructure for interoperability for all 4 communities. They will fund computer-aided dispatch hardware and software, record management systems, facility upgrades, security, dispatch consoles, furniture, and phone systems. In short, the construction, outfitting, and systems development of the entire project. The formation of a regional communications center offers significant benefits to each community. It improves regional decision-making, interoperability with upgrades and new equipment. It enhances dispatch and communications through better supervision and QA/QI, and it allows superior resource and information sharing in one facility with one IT person and improved access to information. The benefits also include standardized technology usage, more efficient procurement and contracting, increased efficiencies and savings for upgrading of infrastructure and equipment, enhanced education and training for public safety dispatchers, which leads to a significant decrease in liability to each community. The entire project can be accomplished over a 2 to 3 year time frame, in which significant project funding will be available annually through State 911. Ensuring a positive staffing model is one of the development areas key to the success of a regional dispatch. The working committee spent considerable time and effort researching alternative models used in functioning centers. Research shows that there are 168 hours that need to be filled for each console to cover 24 hours for a 7-day week. Working a traditional 40-hour work week only covers 160 hours, leaving an 8-hour gap for each console. By increasing the work week by 2 hours and putting dispatchers on a 4-day, 12-hour shift, the entire center can cover the entire 168-hour week without the need for part-time employees. This was found to be the most efficient model and maximizes staffing. Each shift would have a working supervisor that would serve to oversee QA/QI, supervisory issues, and be able to enhance staffing in high-volume times. The communication director will manage all aspects of the facility, including staff, operations, and budget issues. The director answers to boards made up of town managers and chiefs from each community. The IT and communication specialist was found to be a critical position in an area of critical need for all 4 towns. In fairness to the employees, we would propose to rotate day and night shifts. We also propose an impact shift from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. to handle increased volume during that time, again maximizing efforts while minimizing cost. There is built-in relief with this model to contain overtime costs. This allows one employee to be on paid time off before there is a need to hire a replacement on overtime. One of the largest areas of controversy in regards to regional dispatch centers is typically the split of how towns pay. In many cases, there are very small communities lumped in with larger, busier towns or cities. However, in this case, the 4 towns involved are uniquely similar in size, call volume and type, policies and procedures, and response patterns. The result is that the largest town is not the busiest in terms of call volume, and the smallest town is not the slowest. That is why we propose an even 25% split on costs. In general, by sharing the burden of operation, including staffing, equipment, training and building and grounds, each community will see a savings, particularly over the long term. Thank you for listening. We hope this presentation offered an explanation of our efforts to form a regional dispatch center. You can find this presentation, along with frequently asked questions, on the website from each community.